on my phone. All right, Tuesday night live. Mike, it feels like it's been 3 weeks since we went live. We didn't do the bass fishing show on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're back Tuesday night, March 14th. Kind of a dead period in the hunting world, but we talking about this elk draw sometimes gets people riled up, so we can have some good conversations tonight. Once we get a lot of people on here, I'm just going to say, you know what? I think the elk draw is rigged, and that's going to fire everybody up. And so, when you get Lost Mountain Outfitters guide drawing an elk tag, I don't know about that.
You know it's not rigged if I got one, John. It took 21 years.
Straight
So
years.
you add the 3 year sit out, so that's what, 24?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
There you go.
24.
Well, all right, we got some regulars watching already. Jimmy Carroll, Josh is here, and I know Eddie Endicott's here because he has the same greeting every week. Eddie, I'm sorry we didn't have a bass fishing show on Thursday. I'll tell you why. My brother Josh does it with me, and my mom and sister was at his house because they were going to the SEC tournament. Josh lives about an hour from Nashville, and he called me and he said, "Bro, it is way too loud in my house to go live tonight." You got my mom and sister and uncle there, and so we skipped it. But we're going to be live this Thursday, bass fishing. We're going to be in Knoxville next Thursday at the Bassmaster Classic with some of the best bass fishermen in the world. We're excited about that. But tonight we're talking Elk Draw, Kentucky Gun Company owner Patrick Hayden's here, Lost Mountain Outfitters owner. I think Jackie, his wife's the real owner. He's just the guide. Hurley is here. My man Mike is here. Wearing your Lost Mountain gear, Mike.
Yeah, buddy, had to.
I don't know how I feel about that. So, but we got a lot of people watching Elk Draw. Here's what I want to know. I just want people to know, if you're watching, first of all, make sure you share this. We're going to share some great information about how you can attend the draw. It's going to be, and I'll touch on that in a minute because I'm an Eastern Kentucky guy who is so glad it's not in Eastern Kentucky anymore. So I feel like I can say that since I'm from there. And I'm going to tell you why it's so much better. But anyway, share this if you're watching. And just let us know what you think. Have you ever been drawn for an elk tag in Kentucky? Do you think it's a fair system? I mean, it is. We'll just tell you it is. Do you? Some people love that we have elk. Some people hate that we have elk. Some people think we don't have enough. Some people think we have too much. And we like everybody to express their opinion. So let us know. Gordy's here from Ohio. Let us know where you're watching from. Kentucky gives away about 600 elk tags a year. About 60 of those go to non-residents. So wherever you're watching from, you have a chance tonight. Well, you don't have a chance tonight, but you're going to get information tonight on how you have a chance to win a tag and actually have a bet. If you attend this event, you're going to have a better chance to win a tag than if you just put in for the regular draw. So we'll talk about that. But so glad you're here, Patrick, owner of Kentucky Gun Company. You guys opened a new Louisville branch. Your online presence is huge. So, I mean, I know you're busy. I appreciate you being here. Tell us real quick how you come to get involved in this elk draw and bringing it to Bardstown to your store and just how awesome this event's going to be, the setup and everything you got going on.
Well, first of all, appreciate you having us on, and we're excited to be here. We're really excited to host this event. We have been asking to host this event for the past maybe decade or so.
Yeah.
And understandably so. There was some, I guess, maybe Fish and Wildlife officials, probably some politicians in Eastern Kentucky that wanted to keep it in Eastern Kentucky. And I 100% understand that. I mean, that's where the elk are. That's where the drawing probably should be. But I saw, actually, I was cruising YouTube one day, and I saw what Maine did with the moose lottery. And they were I think they let Kittery Trading Post, which is a big retailer up in Maine, host it one year. They let Cabela's host it another year. Yeah. I saw they made it a festival. They made a whole day of festival, a big event out of the thing. They read the names off during the middle of the event, and I was like, man, we could do that in Kentucky. And I think the Fish and Wildlife, they were trying to do something similar to that for the past couple of years, trying to get more people to show up. But Eastern Kentucky is a little bit of a ways away from a lot of the population of Kentucky in general. So finally, they agreed to let me to host it for this year. So this is our first year doing it. And in doing so, we're trying to make this into kind of a full-blown festival. It's a one-day, May 13th, We're taking a Saturday and we're going to make it into a full-blown event.
Yeah.
The first and the most important thing that anybody that's watching this, anybody that's doing this needs to know is this event is not to benefit KY Gun Co. It's not to raise money and put money in our pockets. It is to raise money, but it is to raise money for a very good cause. And just reading our mission statement, our mission is to promote and support an introduction to conservation, shooting, sports, and outdoor recreation for Kentucky's youth. And this is solely going to be done by the funds that are raised at the Kentucky Elk and Outdoor Fest. So everything we're doing here is for Kentucky's youth. All the money that we're raising during this one-day event is going to stay in the state of Kentucky. So adding on to that, what we're doing, we have giveaways. We have over 250 some prizes we're giving away. We have 2 Honda four-wheelers, a Honda UTV. Right now we have 2 elk tags, 1 commissioner's tag and 1 landowner's tag. Mm-hmm. The landowner's tag actually happens to be, and it's going to be fully guided by Hurley. So not only is it a tag, but it's it comes with a complete guide and everything. That's about a $25,000 package. We have a couple ways to enter this thing. So we have 2 different drawings. We have essentially kind of this is a ticketed event. So it's $25 to get in the door. Along with that $25, you get your name in the hat for a package of firearms and also a Honda ATV. There's also something called the Big Bull package, and you don't need to be present to win on either one of these. But the Big Bull package is essentially kind of an upgrade. It's another 200-ish firearms, another Honda ATV, another Honda UTV, and that's a Honda Pioneer 1000. And then there's also the 2 elk tags that we have in that drawing too. So again, the commissioner's tag and the landowner's tag.
And then even if you buy a Big Bull bonus, I probably butchered that what you said, but if you buy a chance to win for $80 and you don't win anything, it's going back to help kids. And you know what? I just had this conversation yesterday. We're big bass fishermen, and when we go to the expo next Thursday, there's going to be 5-year-olds wearing fishing jerseys with pro anglers on the back of them. You don't have that in hunting. Like hunting, the future of bass fishing is great. The future of hunting, I'm a little worried about. I mean, I was a teacher for over a decade, and it seemed like every year I continued teaching, the less students I had who enjoyed hunting, or parents took them hunting, or anyone took them hunting. So I love that you're doing that. I think it's going, I can't think of many better causes to put that money toward. How many people do you anticipate? I know there's no way to really judge. It's the first time we've had it. But if you just had a guesstimate of a range, how many people do you think will show up to that?
We hope to get a couple thousand there. That's our goal. We have I think we have about 85 vendors as of right now. Signed up to. We have kind of a vendor village going on. Pretty much the who's who of the outdoor industry, the firearms industry, is going to be there, setting up tents, giving away swag, giving away T-shirts, hats. Again, we're raffling off, a couple hundred guns that day. So kind of has, a little bit for something for everybody there. We have food trucks that are going to be there. We're working on our beer license as we speak. We have some live music.
You get the beer cart, you're going to have 5,000.
Well, in that case, I'll bring 2 beer carts and maybe we'll double for 10. If that's what it takes, that's what we'll get. But, again, I think we can make this a pretty cool event.
Yeah.
We need the support of the local outdoors men and women here in the state of Kentucky and beyond.
Absolutely.
If we can make this event something special the first year and keep it growing, this thing's going to do nothing but grow. And of course, it's going to do nothing but benefit the youth of Kentucky.
Absolutely. So PK here, PK is on our show every week. Maybe the first time I ever met PK, or maybe the second, was at the Louisville grand opening. I guess it wasn't the first weekend it was open, but I was up there with Tethered helping them, and PK was there. So was actually at Kentucky Gun Company. And he says he's going for sure. I just want to know if you've already made plans to go to this event. Let us know in the comments. And here's why I think everyone needs to at least buy the $80 ticket, because when Kentucky, right now, you can go to Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, fw.ky.gov. You can put in for the elk draw. It's going to cost you $30. If you have a youth, it's going to cost you $40. And you're going to be entered with 90,000 applicants. Now, while it is not rigged, and we joke around about that because we get that a lot, it is a long shot. I mean, it is a very long shot for 600 people to win out of 90,000 applicants. If you go to this event and there's 3,000 people there, even if they sell 10,000 tickets, your odds are much better winning one of those. I guess they're much better. You've got really good odds. I'm not a statistician, so I'm not going to guarantee it, but you got really good odds, better odds of winning one there. And I tell you, we're going to be there. We're going to do a live show there, probably all day, I guess, just an all-day thing, and we'll grab people and pull them in and talk to them. Hurley's going to give us a big mount to put behind us, I think. And no doubt it'll probably say Lost Mountain on it. He's got to get that free advertising in there. But, it's going to be a fun event, and we're looking forward to it. But I'm still buying a bonus ticket because I want to win an elk draw. I want to win an elk tag. Hurley,
we
ahead,
will have a list out of all the stuff we're giving away. We're kind of finalizing that list over the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And we'll be adding to it. But I mean, I'll go down the list right now. I have it on my screen. I have probably 10 different Benelli shotguns, 8 different Bergara rifles, 10 to 15 Browning shotguns. We have 4 Christensen rifles right there in this drawing right now. And the Christensen, there's not a Christensen that's under $1,000. Daniel Defense has thrown in an AR-15. Henry gave us $5,000 worth of rifles. So we have $5,000 worth of Henry rifles alone.
Wow.
It just keeps on stacking up. Lilpo donated $5,000 worth of product. Mossberg did $10,000 worth of product.
There you go.
The donations and the support that we have from our industry is pretty cool. Also, night vision, thermal vision is pretty big. Hurley was actually asking about that last week we were discussing, but we have, I think, 7 or 8 different thermal scopes or night vision scopes in there. We got the Pulsar, we got AGM, and I think we have 1 or 2 more. I have to go back and scroll down this list. Sight mark, we have some sight marks in there. The list goes on, and we'll publish this list live, so you guys, kind of to entice the guys that are looking at these tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
To show you that, hey man, we're not raffling off a whole bunch of junk. This is going to be some prime stuff, and you'd be kind of silly if you don't buy one of these tickets.
Yeah, Kentuckians, we'll drop $100 to try to win the Powerball. We know we're not going to win. There's a good chance you at least win a shotgun at this thing. So I encourage everybody to do it. Hurley, let's not compare elk to what they were 10 years ago. But just a couple years ago, you got it a 400-inch elk, number 2 biggest typical elk in North America. Whoever wins this guy to hunt with you, there's a good chance to get a good one, don't you think?
Yeah, we still got some great elk in Kentucky, but it's definitely a tougher hunt, but it's a more rewarding hunt than just going and shooting fish in a barrel. So, it takes some time, but the opportunities are still there to harvest a quality animal.
Mike, we've been hunting with Hurley, not elk hunting, unfortunately, but turkey hunting several times. And when we went the first year turkey hunting over there, you saw your first elk. You were really in the mountains for the first time. For someone who has never done that, how incredible is it just to be over there?
It was awesome. I absolutely cherished that hunt specifically. I was fortunate.
Double bearded bird.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get my very first double bearded bird, and it was that was a fun hunt. We saw a black bear. We were kind of on a ledge and was looking out down below the mountain there and saw that black bear down in there. That was cool. And my first Kentucky, group of Kentucky elk, that was awesome as well. And the turkeys were gobbling, and we ended up getting on one on Sunday and got that one. But that's a hunt I'll never forget, and I cherish that hunt big time.
Don't add, Mike, that you had to ditch me and John to go kill one. So.
hey, listen, I got
rid of us to get it done.
I had the direction of, hey, why don't you go off? I'll take him. We'll go this way, and you just figure it out. And I was fortunate to figure it out. And to be frank, I think I got a little lucky. I got aggressive and ended up getting lucky. I knew a bird was, just from that prior day, we knew those birds were down in there and they weren't wanting to come up. They just, for whatever reason, was staying down in there. And I decided to get aggressive that morning, and I ran down in there and got lucky, I think. But I'll never forget. Awesome.
There's no such thing as luck, Mike. You correct your own.
Let me tell you something. When Mike really learned. Now, Mike and I have been in several different places hunting together. And he really learned what the mountains were about when he had to go all the way to the bottom of that holler to kill a turkey. And I mean, a turkey's not heavy, but he had to hike all the way back up. I've never seen him so exhausted, sweaty, nasty from going down there
Hey,
after the turkey.
but you talk about that. It was funny when I shot that bird. When it fell, it rolled all the way back down. So I ran down the hill, and when I got there, I was at the bottom, and I was just kind of standing there. Everything was kind of still, and I just looked around. I thought, "Wow, this is cool. This is really cool."
You know, here's the thing. I would put my love for the mountains in Eastern Kentucky up against anyone. I love going back. Yeah, I'm from Harlan. I go there and hunt all the time. I'm going there this weekend. You know, somebody in the comments said they love the people in Eastern Kentucky. And I love it. I mean, there's no better place in the world to me. But with that said, Prestonsburg is a nice town. The Mountain Arts Center is state of the art. It's a great auditorium. But I'm so glad that we're moving this from there to Bardstown because, you know, it's not just the folks in Eastern Kentucky who, I mean, that's where you got to hunt. But if you look at the allocation of tags in 600, it's not just 600 folks from Eastern Kentucky. It's all over Kentucky. It's, you know, 60 people from across the country. And I think having this in a central location, you were never going to get someone from Bowling Green to drive to Prestonsburg for that elk draw. But now you're going to get people from Bowling Green. You're going to get them probably from Paducah, from Lexington, from Louisville. I mean, all over. And you're still going to have folks from Eastern Kentucky coming out to that. And I mean, it's not a bad drive. I'm in Frankfort, right in the center. It's about 50 minutes right to Kentucky Gun Company from my house. I think it's going to be an excellent turnout. Patrick, I'm sure that was kind of your vision when you've been lobbying to get this to your place.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the statistics I was throwing out there to the people that had open ears that, hey, man, we're in the center part of Kentucky where 45 minutes away from Louisville, 45 minutes away from Lexington, maybe an hour and 15 minutes away from Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Elizabethtown's, 15 minutes away from us. We're literally smack dab in the middle. So, I know there's some guys out there that was kind of responsible for keeping it in Eastern Kentucky for all these years. And hopefully if they're watching and if they're seeing this podcast, that, I appreciate you guys just having an open mind there and letting it out there, and we'll see if it works, and hopefully it does. If not, we'll go back to Eastern Kentucky, but to get different results, we've got to try some different things.
This is not a dig. I'll just say this is not a dig against anyone, but there's never been an elk draw where we've given away 2 hunts, ATVs, shotguns. I mean, this is unprecedented. This first year we've had it. So I think even the people that may be upset that it's gone, they can't argue with it just being a better opportunity for everyone, for Kentucky as in general. What are you going to say, Hurley? I
can't stress, and I mean, how excited I am about this event and the vision that I even had this vision back and with Pat coming, I've got to meet Pat a few times, and what he's doing, our best conservationists, in the world is hunters and sportsmen.
Yeah.
And to gear this towards our young generation, and a lot of this going back towards it just makes all sense. And it's Patrick. The funny thing, Patrick started getting a hold of me and had reached out while I'm actually hunting in September, and I'm. He's sending emails. And he's called 2 or 3 times. Like, Patrick, I'm in the middle.
You won't return your call, Patrick, during that time.
I will get back a hold of you, but man, after I had the opportunity to take some time to talk to him, and he started just kind of unfolding and telling me what his vision was, and I instantly got excited, and just to be a part of it, and there's going to be a lot of vendors there and a lot of outfitters. It's Kentucky Elk Guide Association. We'll have other guys there. So I think if we get, if we can get 2,000 out and more, I think we're going to have a real good opportunity to have some folks there that actually gets to see their name come across the screen.
Yeah, and that's special.
Last year I was blessed. It took me 21 years. Unfortunately, I didn't go to the Prestonsburg thing because typically if they draw 5 names, my phone starts ringing. So it's always hard for me as the draw's going on. So, the first day and for what he's putting on, it gives you a reason to be there. And plus being able to fellowship, see a lot of friends that you haven't seen in the past, and to meet new folks. I think it's a win-win for everybody in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and just the partnerships. And I mean, just he keeps adding stuff every day, and it just blows my mind how big he's going to make this thing. And I'm excited about not this year, but years to come. So.
Yeah, I couldn't do this without guys like you supporting us. I mean, you were instrumental in getting these elk tags to raffle off for us. These elk tags that we're raffling off, they were not given to us by the state or anything. We went out and bought those things.
And it takes a long process, and to get all that set up, and Patrick's been persistent, and just saying that his workers and the way he conducts business. I mean, I think this thing is, with the help of everybody, I think it's just going to be a big hit. I really do.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, something that we can follow up on, John, it's hard to say this is the first time, but I have a feeling it's going to be a big deal. I have a feeling it's going to take off. And here's why.
I thought you were going to say, I have a feeling I'm going to get drawn. I really thought you were going to say that.
Well, are you serious? You never know. I might. Yeah, I might. We'll go into it with a positive attitude, and we'll see what happens. We'll roll with it, right?
We're going to come back to that positive attitude in a minute.
No, actually, let's something I want to point out is Kentucky. When we first started, this was Kentucky Outdoors Media, and we kind of grew into Eastern Outdoors Media, covering different states a little bit and different content. But when we first started this, we decided to do a squirrel hunting contest, and Kentucky Gun Company supplied us with some tools for that tournament. And we had 400 people sign up for that one tournament. It was a 1 day tournament.
450, Mike. Don't cheat us. It was 450.
There you go. Well, I knew it was over 400 for a little over, but that's amazing. And the reason that was able to happen is because they graciously donated those to give away as top prizes. So when you've got that, you create something of fellowship, and then you have something like that, some fun prizes and giveaways and things of that nature. People get together, they network and have fun, and then there's some prizes mixed in there. Makes it a great time.
Let's do that squirrel hunt again, man.
Go ahead, Patrick. Go ahead.
Let's do that squirrel hunt again. That was kind of cool.
Absolutely.
That was really cool.
I actually think that was our first big community building event, and we've done some deer camps and stuff since then. We have a turkey camp coming up. If you guys haven't signed up, we got about 15 people. Cave Run, Twin Knobs Campground. It's going to be a blast. Don't worry about the hunting pressure. There's tens of thousands of acres in Daniel Boone. Anyway, but I will just say, and Patrick, we're not just here to brag on Patrick, but he is a master marketer. I mean, Kentucky Gun Company is everywhere online. If you've ever purchased anything from Kentucky Gun Company, let us know in the comments. I know Mike has, I have, I'm sure Hurley has, but I was on the boat fishing at Lake Malone out in Western Kentucky, and Mike was texting me, "Hey, we need to do a squirrel hunting tournament." And I literally from my phone just sent Patrick an email. I don't know how I got your email, Patrick. I don't know, but I sent him an email, or maybe I sent it to info or wherever. But he's the one who replied and was like, "Hey, yeah, we'll give you 2 air rifles, no questions, this and that." And I try to keep him updated on how the post went and everything. So that was great, Patrick. We appreciate that. Hurley Combs says, "I'm ready to squirrel hunt." I'm guessing that's big Hurley Combs.
Yes, he's the squirrel master,
grand champion squirrel dog.
Yeah, hunter. Got dogs all over the country.
He ain't worried about these elk. He likes the squirrels.
I'm a little biased, but he does have the best dogs in the country.
Before I even met you, I'd heard that.
You better get you one.
I knew the Hurley Combs Senior name before I knew Hurley Junior. But
yeah, he's the legend. I'm just kind of going through life, man. I'm just trying to catch up and do my thing,
Yeah, Patrick, what do you see? I know Hurley mentioned. I guess you guys talked about the big event in Ohio, the Deer Rassic. I think I'm saying that correct. That's a huge turnout. Where do you see this? I have no doubts that May 13th is going to be a huge success, and I think you're going to have to get some people there to see how great it is. to buy in. They might come in a little skeptical, but where do you see this evolving to? Like, do you have a vision bigger than what we have now? Or are you just kind of seeing how this first year goes? Obviously you want it to grow and that you're going to make that happen, but kind of what is your vision for this outside of just the first year?
We want it to grow, but we want we want to build the excitement around the elk draw. I mean,
Right.
any other state, it just seems to be more, more people turn out for these festivals, more people turn out for these drawings. Again, just watching what Maine did with the moose lottery
Right.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, we hope it grows. We hope it continues to benefit, again, the kids in the state of Kentucky. I don't know how big the thing's going to get. I know, our facility is about 5 acres. We could probably at most host 3,000 to 5,000 people.
Yeah.
And there will be limited tickets on this thing too. So
Right.
if you're thinking about buying some, don't wait. But once it gets outside of those bounds, if it gets bigger than that, then I don't know where we'll host it, but we'll look for a new spot. But yeah, I hope it keeps on growing, man. And the support of the people in the state of Kentucky and the people that's buying the elk chances and the elk lotteries for the state and for our drawings. I mean, all help is greatly appreciated. And, we can only grow this with those guys and girls' support.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as far as the local community, like
Okay.
coming into town on Friday night and hotels and there's, some nice restaurants and, it's in a good area. I mean, it's got, I like to say make a 3-day event, turn it into a 3-day event type
Lord.
deal. You get it that big,
That's a 5-year plan.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll do it. I think he'll make it that.
And Bardstown's cool, man. We have plenty of hotels there.
Yeah.
We are the center of we are the bourbon capital of the world. I mean, our little county.
That's what I was going to get to. Yeah.
Kentucky's known for bourbon, but Bardstown is really where the good bourbon comes from. That's just a little biased opinion. But
I live 5 minutes from Buffalo Trace.
That's good stuff. Too.
We could probably argue. We could probably debate that.
I think we should just get together and drink some.
Well, I was going to say if Bardstown Distillery is not involved in this somehow, I mean, we got to get them there. We got to get them involved.
So they have Bardstown Bourbon Company has already stepped up, and I'm trying to get a couple other distilleries to get together to create a bourbon package to raffle off some really cool, unique, not just bottles, but some really cool, unique distillery experiences. I'm trying to get 3 or 4 other distilleries to get together to make a kind of a cool little separate, another side ticket.
That'd be good.
We're working on that, but also in order to do that, I'm also having to apply for some type of special alcohol raffling license.
Oh yeah,
which we're working on that part too. So it's we're trying to put all this together. Yep.
Yeah. So my brother is he's actually stationed at Fort Campbell. He lives in Hopkinsville, and his plan is to come out to the Elk Draw. Mike and I are going to do the live show, and then he wants to go to some of the bourbon tours because he loves bourbon. He's never visited many of the distilleries, so that's kind of what we're basing our weekend around, the Elk Draw and bourbon tour. So
I mean, literally from the parking lot where we're hosting this thing, you could walk to a distillery. There's Luxco.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I mean, literally it's about a block down from us. So if you wanted to, during the middle of the day, take a break and go on a tour,
he probably will,
and go on a tasting, you could do that.
Yeah, that's
with what Patrick's put together here. I mean, the Elk Draw is a bonus. When you go to take, you're including 4-wheelers, side by sides,
rifles,
shotguns, and and it's just I think it's just a combination for a successful event, fun event.
I mean, it's possible to put in for the Elk Draw. I mean, obviously, everything's a chance, right? So we're not guaranteeing anything. I mean, that'd be silly. But it's possible for a person there, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you win a 4-wheeler, and then you get your name drawn with the Kentucky Elk Draw. Or you win a rifle, and you get drawn for week 1 rifle, and you can use the white rifle you won to go shoot your elk. I mean, there's really a lot of possibilities. Mike's excited.
Yeah, heck of a day right there if that were to happen.
Hey, very important question here, Patrick. This is for you. Jimmy Carroll, he's on here every week. We love him. He's a loyal follower, good friend. He has the best question of the night so far. Are we able to buy tickets if we're not able to make the event? So can you explain that to us?
Yes, 100%. So if you're coming to the event, you do need to buy an admission ticket no matter what. You could obviously buy one and not show up and still get your name in the raffle for the $25 raffle. Then the Big Bull, which is I think some $80 package, you could buy as many of those as you want. The first admission, there's just one per person, but the Big Bull chances we already have guys buying 5 to 10 of them a piece. And you don't have to be there. We will find a way to get the prizes to you, or we'll hold them for you until you come pick it up. But yeah, definitely, if you live in Alaska, buy these things. If you live in California, jump on it. You might have a chance to win a 4-wheeler and a really cool elk hunt. And I don't know, some of the guns are given away is not California legal, but that's a whole different other issue. But I mean, there's you don't have to be present to win.
And literally somebody just said that. So it's not a have to be present to win. It is not. We want you there. It'll be a lot more fun if you are there, but we understand if you can't make it, buy a ticket. Jimmy says he's in for 200. So there you go, Jimmy. You might not be exactly 200. May have to go over a little under, but yeah, that'll work. Mike, remind me if I'm wrong. Last week's show, we had 7 different states on the show.
Yep.
Right? Ohio, Michigan, Florida, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and some Tennessee, I think. There's definitely folks on here who are watching from other states that you're not going to be able to make it to Bardstown. You probably don't have elk. Most of it's eastern states. So if you do have elk, we have better elk. So you might as well buy you an $80 ticket. You're not going to be there, but you might win an elk tag. And if you don't, the money goes for a good cause. So, and that's what I was getting at when I asked you a while ago about your vision, Patrick, because, Virginia and Hurley was over there in Virginia. They had 5 tags. 5. That's 1% of what we have. Wow. Tennessee, don't know how many tags they have. Do you know, Hurley, how many they have? Maybe 100.
25.
They only have 25 or 125.
I'm not 100% on that, but it's not many.
It's not many, and and Hurley, you can attest. Out of the 5 or 6 elk killed in Virginia, how many were Kentucky elk? 3.
3 of them, 2 of them for sure, because I watched him all summer. I actually had a tag, and he these elk travel. When the rut kicks in, they're gonna travel and go to where the ladies are. And unfortunately, he was a Kentucky elk that actually was. He ended up netting Boone Crockett 431.
Wow,
world class animal. And actually, I spent my first 2 days of my Kentucky hunt, of my 5-day hunt, looking at him in Virginia.
Begging him to cross the border back into Kentucky.
Wow!
I knew I was going to get to lay my hand. I did get the honor of field dressing him. Actually, 4 of the 6 Virginia elk I did get to field dress, so that was pretty cool just to be part of that first inaugural hunt. But not going to get on that subject too hard tonight. But we got to do some extremely good habitat work, and actually that's what I've been doing this past week is. Doing some controlled burns with Fish and Wildlife, and actually we're hoping to do one. We're hoping to burn about 500 acres on Thursday. So
wow,
weather permitting, it's they're doing a lot more burns and controlled burns and habitat, and with this invasive olive bush that we have that's taken over, we're going to have to get really aggressive with that, and they're showing signs. Fish and Wildlife showing signs of putting more emphasis on the habitat burns and stuff. We have to.
Now, I'll be honest, Mike and I are a little biased toward the autumn olive because when we go bear hunting, that's one way we find them. The bear love the autumn olive. So we're like, oh man, there's autumn olive and there's bear tracks everywhere.
You're not going to find too many people like some autumn olive.
I know. And you know what? The controlled burn is not just good for elk; it's good for everything.
Yep.
I mean, I think we talked. You do a controlled burn. Or maybe that was last week. We talked about the hunting public. When they came to Kentucky, they actually called the Forest Service to find out where they had done some burning in Daniel Boone. That's where they hunted. And I think it was down in McCreary County, actually, a few years back.
The turkeys cannot stand it, dude. It drives them crazy. I mean,
they can't,
Oh,
This
8 to 10 days after you burn a place, I mean, if there's turkeys around, they're coming.
They're in there? Yeah. Well, I might burn my backyard here. 14 tags in Tennessee. Somebody said, now listen, if you're watching us, so we have our Eastern Outdoors page. We also have a Facebook group, which is called Kentucky Outdoors, because we wanted to at least keep something just Kentucky specific, which it has a ton of people from outside of Kentucky too. But if you're watching from the Facebook group, for some reason, don't know why, it only pops up Facebook users. So just let us know who you are. But 14 tags in Tennessee. Thanks for sharing that. So Tennessee has 14. Virginia has 5. We have 600 for now. There's no reason for us not to have a huge event like this. So, I mean, Patrick, I think this is a great idea. What were you saying, Hurley?
Pennsylvania, PA does a big elk fest type deal.
They have, Pennsylvania has less tags, but they have big elk.
Yeah,
we won't get into management. We won't get into management.
Yeah, we won't go there yet.
Well, that might push some buttons.
I'm sure you see it, Patrick, but I'm telling you, the fad right now is the thermal. So if you, do a thermal raffle, I think it would do good. Because everybody, right now that's a big thing that it just seems like everything I get on is thermal. Everybody's into this thermal.
I think there's 4 or 5 night vision scopes in this raffle, and there's 3 or 4 thermals. So, if you're wanting to start that up, that's hot. Like you said, you were talking about doing some guiding down in Western Kentucky.
Right.
With that, and the cool thing about it is, I think all 3 of those brands that we're giving away, they are going to be one of the 3 of the vendors at this thing. So if you want to come out and actually look through all 3 of them and learn about them, because there's a lot to it. The resolutions, the difference between thermal and night vision and so forth. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah, I don't know if I know the difference between thermal and night vision. Can you use thermal when it's not night?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to say, hey, we can't say you can kill an elk using thermal. I don't know what the rules are on that, because I thought it was at night. You obviously can't kill an elk at night. Some people do, but that's legal. Tennessee has 7 archery, 6 gun, 1 youth. Wow, that's a lucky kid. 1 youth.
Heck, that's worse drawing than a bighorn sheep, man.
Yeah, you know what? I have a friend who hunts just south of McQuarrie County, right across the Tennessee border, and he deer hunts down there, public land, and he sees elk like every time he goes deer hunt. He sees elk down there in Tennessee, which are probably from Kentucky, but maybe we tell big racks and mounts are awesome, but elk meat is the best. You guys agree with that? You think elk's the best? Patrick, I've seen pictures. You've hunted a lot of places. Hurley's hunted a lot of places. Mike and I, not so much. What do you put elk up there as the best?
I don't know if it's not the best, but it's in top 3 or 4.
Okay. What's better?
I gotta say moose.
Moose is really good.
I've had moose once, and I can't tell you. I had it just like a couple weeks ago, but I can't really tell you. I don't much about it. I just had.
Best meal I ever ate was I was in the Yukon. In the backcountry, and it was just.
Was you a Jim Shockey up there?
Fresh. It was good.
Hey, did you make the same mistake I did and eat the moose like the day you killed it?
I did eat some that day. Yeah.
Well,
Why was that a mistake?
Well, I didn't realize it. I had a buddy actually that my federal ammunition rep and myself was up there. A guy named Keith Hudson. And he killed one, I don't know, 3 or 4 days into it. And we butchered it up and backpacked it all the way back to camp. And we did the tender ones that night. But you're supposed to wait like a day or 2. I guess there's something about the green meat part of it. Supposed to wait a day or 2. I guess some type of enzymes. They didn't tell us that till after we, had it.
Yeah.
And then so next day we went out. I got on a moose and we were tracking it down. And then I had to stop, probably 7 or 8 times on the middle of the pursuit.
Got you.
And there's no bushes where we were hunting.
You knew why you had to wait after that, didn't you?
Yeah. So they told me what the problem was, and you're not supposed to eat too much of that right after you cook it. And,
that's funny.
But they didn't tell us that while we were eating it. So
yeah, we have a friend
I was fortunate then.
We have a friend who lives in Versailles. Yeah. Well, you got a stomach of steel. You need anything.
Yeah. It ain't gonna last long, is it, John?
But we have a friend in Versailles, Rob Spencer. He runs George Lake Outfitters in Canada, and they give him unlimited black bear tags because the bear is so hard on the moose up there, and they're trying to protect him. He said that the moose, I don't know much about moose. He said they'll swim out when they're pregnant out to one of the islands on the lake and stay there for weeks until they have the calf, raise it enough where it can swim, and then go back to the mainland because the bears are so bad. So we're going to try to get up there and bear hunt. He's got 100% success rate. Killed some really nice, and got some really nice pike too. No one's ever, I mean, where he's fishing and hunting, like no one's ever inhabited before. He bought it. So, he's got great success rate. That's off topic. Let's see. Patrick is the dude. I'm sure you've been called worse, Patrick. Patrick is the dude, and you and what you've done with Kentucky Gun Company means so much to our outdoor community. All the success is well deserved. So there you go, Patrick. You got a lot of fans.
Appreciate the compliment, but I didn't do this by myself. I did it with the support of all of our customers and clients. So, whoever wrote that, thank you. Appreciate your support. And everybody that has supported us for the past 21 years. It's not a solo act by any means.
Now, I don't know about your customers. I'm sure you got some good and bad, but you really do have great people that work for you. And I've dealt with some in the store, obviously, but I've dealt with 3 or 4 just through email, and they're all, they respond quickly. They're very nice, very helpful. I actually need to get back to Kirsten on filling that paperwork out. I've not done that yet, so I need to do that when we get off here.
But have you noticed that trend? People, successful business folks like Kentucky Gun Company, they surround themselves with good folks, and it's just like Lost Mountain Outfitters. I'm just me. Lost Mountain is built on my guides. The folks,
you got some good guys.
There's a lot of guys that want to come and guide for me, but I'm hesitant. We go through and they earn their stripes, and we make sure that we try to get the best of the best, and we can't guide all 594 hunters. Yeah, we'd love to, but we can only take care of so much, and you got to stay within your means and take care of business.
I bet you're the only outfitter, maybe in the country, that has a world champion cornhole player on it as a guy.
Fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Patrick? He has a world champion, legit ESPN cornhole on his team.
On ESPN.
I did not know that.
Talking about, we've been blessed to kill. It is. And we get, kids are just, he's got his own professional cornhole card. And
that's so funny. Doing autographs on beanbags.
It's cool to get on there and watch him play on it.
I've seen him on there. Jimmy McGuffin. What do you say his name? Jimmy McGuffin. Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, throw a little cornhole into this, man. A little cornhole tournament.
Cornhole tournament.
Good idea.
I don't know. You start mixing bourbon and cornhole, that might not be a good recipe.
Guns, elk tags, foilers, cornhole.
Loaded up with fun.
There you go.
5 acres won't hold them, Patrick. 5 acres is not going to be big enough.
We have options to expand this. We got a couple of 10-acre plots around the store, so it's doable.
You'll find the room. You'll find the space.
But there's only been. I will throw out there too. I know you mentioned earlier, John. I didn't really answer it. Todd Ayers killed or harvested the number 2 bull in North America on the typical class. It's the state record. It's the current state record, largest bull that's ever been harvested by a hunter in Kentucky. Yeah. And then also,
incredible.
We'll have the David Giles bull that was killed in 2015, which was the state record at the time. And it's the first 400-inch grossing bull that was ever harvested in Kentucky. So both of those bulls, we have mounted, and that to me, it's a special thing for me, to be a part of that. But to be able to display those, and then that was the main reason, that we had that done. And Ben Byer, Wildlife Artistry by Ben, he's one of the best at doing replicas. And so we were blessed to get these bulls replicated. Yeah, it's not the actual bull, but I'm telling you, Mr. Storm or Commissioner came by, and we actually had 3. Ben had made 3 sets up, and you couldn't. He walked in, he said, "Which one?" Until you picked them up, then you could tell. But
yeah,
I just think it's cool to be able to come out and see some history, and I'm sure Patrick's going to have some other stuff there as well. But man, I'm just excited. I really am.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. 9 to 5, May 13th. Get your tickets, $25 for general admission, and some prizes come along with that.
Yep.
But if you want a chance for the big prizes, an elk hunt, ATV, UTV, shotguns, rifles, optics, then spend the $80. I mean, for $105, that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good
You're
deal.
going to get some serious chances at some serious prizes.
Serious chances, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just like the elk tag. I mean, we partnered up. If an elk guide, is going to cost you somewhere between $4,000 to $6,000, for a guided hunt, and you win an elk tag, and you already have the guy paid for. We partnered on that, so just winning that tag alone, and then they'll have the option on the other tag. And who wins that may call us, but
Yeah.
But we're gonna have other guides there. Like I said, Kentucky Elk Guide Association will have some other good guides. We got some other good guides that do a great job. It's not just it's just not promoting Lost Mountain Outfitters in just one business, but I'm just excited about the federal guys, the Benelli guys, the best. It's not just a rinky-dink small raffle. I mean, you're talking about high-end quality, raffles. I mean, it's
absolutely. I think Jonathan Stacy has the right idea here, and I don't know how Pete we've been marketing this and pushing this. Hold on, I'm gonna put buy your tickets here and putting the link. Patrick, oh gosh, that's not the link. Hold on. Facebook messed me up. Anyway, I'm going to put the link. Larry Dean just asked, but Jonathan said, hey, if you just got your tax returns back, don't go buy a new car or take your kids to Golden Corral, wherever. Save it, bring it to Bardstown, drop it on the ticket, right?
You don't have to bring it to Bardstown.
Unfortunately, I have to pay the government this year, so like every year, actually. But so I'm just going to.
You don't have to bring it to Bardstown. You can do it from the comfort of your house.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Comfort from your house. But, if you got your tax returns, you got enough gas money.
And think about all the silly stuff that you spent $100 on already this year alone. And this, you have a really good chance of getting something back and supporting a good cause too. But
you talked about Bardstown bourbon, and I mean they have so many different brands, but MSRP at Kroger on some of those are like $60, $70.
I'll let you on a secret. I'm not certain this is going to materialize yet, but Bardstown Bourbon has already stepped up. If I could get a couple other distilleries to also participate in this ticket, we want 3 or 4 different raffles on one ticket to make it really something special. But Bardstown Bourbon Company has this really cool bourbon library, and you can't. It's behind the scenes. It's kind of invitation only. You go behind the thing, and it's kind of a walnut lined shelves all the way around the thing. It has its table in the center. I think it holds maybe 12 to 15 people. And this thing is completely surrounded by all kinds of different bourbons, not just Bardstown Bourbon Company's bourbons, but I mean, if there's a bourbon that has been made probably in the past 50 some years, it's probably on this shelf. And they have volunteered to help pretty much donated at their cost, but to do a luncheon, I think, for 6 people, and a tasting of just about anything and everything in that room with their master distiller. So it's about the last one they auctioned off went for about $6,000 or $7,000 just for that experience. This is something you can't go buy.
So that'd be awesome.
We're working with a couple other distilleries, and we think we got 2 or 3 more others that'll help participate and do some really cool experiences. Maybe a barrel pick or 2.
That'd be cool.
And we're trying to make it, maybe another $25 ticket, but again, it'd be something simple and easy to do, but you wouldn't be able to buy these experiences or buy these barrels or bourbon anywhere else.
Here's what this really kind of brings back, and Hurley, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The Elk Draw is a huge event, and that's what the focus of this event is. But to me, kind of the residual benefit of this is you're bringing so many people in the hunting community and even probably outside of the community together. And that's really, Hurley, what the Elk started doing. I mean, you guys were having food and live music and hundreds of people showing up. And it's been a community event for a long time. And this kind of brings that back, don't you think?
It brings back the excitement. I mean, And I'm not saying we losing anything. I think we're actually gaining it by doing it outside of the elk zone. And if Eastern Kentucky feels like, or the elk zone feel like they've lost something, let's put that effort towards maybe going back to the old days when we had a elk camp or a live check-in. A check-in station. I had as much pride in my hunters, probably enjoyed that as much. We'd come into camp, but we'd also load them up and go take them to an actual check station to where they'd be 200, 300, 400 locals, your local community being involved. And that's what we want to keep our local community involved, to show value and investment that they are worth value,
Absolutely.
And we've got to have the folks that's living with elk in the elk country we got to educate them on the value of what it really brings to the table as a whole. And I think in time we've lost a little bit of that. And we just have to work together to get that back and build that back. And I think this is a good process to actually get it out there. With what Patrick's doing and put some excitement back into it. We're 25 years, 25 years into this. I mean, this is something that's been
needed.
Waited for. I mean, it's
absolutely.
It's a need. So,
Patrick, what were you going to say?
Yeah, you were talking about that check-in station, man. I remember watching those elk being checked in live, and that was cool. And that kind of brought back a memory. I remember when you used to have to do the deer that way. And that old general store that
he likes that.
Man, I just miss that. And that old general store that we bought that kind of turned into KY Gun Co., which was King's Depot in Bardstown.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the check-in place for Nelson County. And then right next to us was Boone's Butcher Shop, and that was the place you were going to have it processed and not do it yourself. That's where you took it. It was
as a kid.
Those were
as
cool
a kid,
times,
that's
man.
my fondest memories.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mike talks about it all the time. Mike talks about, man, we need to bring back check-in station. Is the most fun I had as a kid. Yeah, I see you smiling, Mike.
Yeah. I'm smiling because it's always the mom and pop general store. It's always that. I hunted when I was a kid. I hunted a lot in Owen County, and down at the bottom of the hill, so opposite side of the racetrack. Go down the hill towards Sparta, and right at the base of the hill is a little general store, and that's where we checked our deer in. We would all stop by, and hunters would be grabbing, Hunt's Brothers Pizza and coming in and out of the general store. I mean, small little place.
And I guarantee you it was your papaw, your uncles, your dad, your cousins, all the Collins guys. There's like 30 of the Collins guys. There's no women.
It was a huge event for the family to check in down there.
Yeah,
I miss those days.
Yeah, I think that's and Mike and I talk about this all the time. We started Eastern Outdoors less than 3 years ago, and we've been very fortunate to meet great people, have great friendships like Hurley, meet people like Patrick. We've been out and sat around, talked to Harold Knight. I mean, we've done a lot of things, met a lot of great people. That's really the thing we love the most is all the relationships and the community building. And so, man, that's the best. That's just the best about hunting. I'd rather hunt with somebody than hunt by myself, and that's just because I like the camaraderie part.
Yeah.
Speaking of Harold Knight, have you reached out to? I think you mentioned you reached out to one, but do you have any of the celebrity outdoor guys that would maybe come and be speakers, or just them being in attendance?
Show up.
Sure. So we've reached out to a couple.
Good question.
Yeah, we've reached out to a couple. We don't have really any solid commitments yet. So if any of these guys are listening, by all means, reach out to us. Jump on the webpage. There's a link to shoot us an email. We'd be more than happy to call you back.
Waddell, just text him.
I will talk to them. I mean, I wish my brother T-Bone Travis Turner, he went through some health issues, but hopefully he gets on the road soon, and he would be all about it. But
he'd be great, but it'd be hard for him.
Reaching out to – actually, Nick's supposed to call me this week, and then I can mention it to Nick and try to – I know you mentioned that you may have talked to him once, but Nick and Michael and
A lot of those guys are going to be traveling turkey hunting is the thing.
Turkey
I would
hunting.
say.
Yeah, Mike's hard. That's that
Yeah.
time of year. He might be really wrapped up in the turkey game.
Hard to pass that up too. All the states
Yeah.
they're hunting. So, but
Yeah, we're looking for some guest speakers. So
yeah,
anybody, reading 600 names, 594 some names can be a
John
a pretty
Stepp
dry
with
event.
Outdoor Media.
me, I'm going to be there speaking all day, brother. And
John,
that's
I'm-
all
I'm-
said.
I'm saying that, who else do we need if you're going to be there? I mean, you can get up there.
Hey, I can go. Listen, I can talk.
You're
You can
signed
probably
up.
get thrown.
I got you on the first
Yeah,
50.
that you can. And you was telling me not to go off on a rant.
No, I did. Now listen. When we have guests on here, and they just start talking, the people start walking. That's what it is. So we got to keep it. It's got to stay. Got to stay moving, man. Even
Patrick,
the great
how
Hurley
can-
Combs has to follow the guidelines and the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, I got handcuffed before we ever started. Hey, don't go on a rant, bro. I've been kind
Listen.
of chill, so
Hurley is one of my best friends. I love him. I do anything for him. But when I know I answer his call, I got to block an hour of time off. Now I enjoy the entire hour, but when we get together, we like to talk.
you gotta get what you gotta get it while you can get it, man.
Yep. I love it.
Well, listen, guys,
So
it has
Patrick,
been.
I guess I got
Yeah.
a question for Patrick. How can the viewers? How can we help you? I mean, outside of sharing and advertising, I know you got a lot of things coming up, and it's going to be, I guess, maybe televised. Especially the prior 2 weeks of the event. But is there anything that the viewers can help you with?
Yeah, hands down, man. Just the help of sharing this on the social media, your
Yeah.
Facebook pages, your Instagram accounts, just help spreading the word. Again, we're not doing this to benefit us. This money is not going back to us. This is going to benefit the kids and the youth of the state of Kentucky. So help me, help them. Essentially, I need all the help we can get. Not shy, not bashful about asking for help.
No.
Help spread the word and show up too. That'd be really awesome. You guys want to show up, help, and the tickets. The tickets go to it's kind of this thing that's going to make it or break it for the future years. So
and I have I've put the link in the comments. I'm going to pin it to the top. That way, anybody who gets on here can easily access that. But yeah, just go to that link. I know some people ask if they could buy them like in stores in different counties. There's no need to do that. Go to the link and buy general admission, buy as many tags as you want. I think Hurley and I was talking. He's like, man, if you're going and your wife or your kids don't want to go, buy them a ticket and you go, and it just increases your chance of winning. Like there's no limit on tickets you can buy. So whatever an elk tag or a 4-wheeler means to you. Somebody said, I think it was Mark Lilly, who, if I'm not mistaken, drew him and his wife both drew a tag last year.
Yeah.
Mark? Mark asked me today. He said Hurley is the man, and you know what I said? You can see the comment on my page. I said, well, he calls me for advice. Mark says that. But Mark said if he wins a 4-wheeler, he will trade it and some cash for an elk tag. So I guess it depends on you. You lost your side-by-side a couple years ago, Hurley. Somebody knocked it over the hill. You might have to take that.
Yeah.
You were asking about paper tickets a minute ago, and some people have asked us why we don't have ticket sales set up throughout the state. But
yeah,
you can literally do everything on your phone right now, and it's
Right.
much easier. We're trying to keep our costs low to maximize the benefit of this thing, but it's all digital. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your laptop. Heck, if you want to, call us and we'll put the order in for you if you have.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's as easy as it gets. And I sat in line for about 10 hours one day. I was working from home to buy my little sister, who is her birthday today. Happy birthday! There's no way she's watching, but to buy her Taylor Swift tickets, which cost me like $300. I had to stay on this stupid computer like 10 hours for Taylor Swift tickets. So you guys can take less than 2 minutes and almost maybe win an elk hunt. So there you go. Somebody says they missed the whole show. The good news is you can go back and watch the whole thing from the beginning. That's where most of the people do. They watch the replay, and they said they're still in their sitting out period. So maybe that is Mark.
That's Mark. Yep.
Yeah, maybe that is Mark. So
I think he's been drawn twice and wife drawn once, and a brother of his got drawn. So he's known quite a few people.
His kids are
Wow.
excellent hunters. I mean, that's just I wish I was a Lily. But Patrick, is there anything we've left out?
Not that I can remember. I think you covered it pretty good. KYOutdoorFest.com. That's get your tickets there.
Okay. Now, I that is a little different link. I use like a short link that you'd put on your Facebook page.
That works too.
Yeah, kyg.co/Elk Draw. So, yeah, we use some of those short links too. But I think we got everything. The only thing that I was going to talk about that I didn't get to was how Mike has been so adamant that Kentucky's going to lose on Friday. I told him we were going to bring it up tonight because he said guaranteed, and I just disagree. Are you guys, Hurley, you're a basketball guy. Patrick, you a Kentucky fan?
He said they were going to lose.
Please tell him he have wrong. See, look, he's uncomfortable right now.
I don't feel
I
good.
love making him uncomfortable. He said, guaranteed we're going to lose by 6 or more. And I said, no, we're not. We're not going to lose.
I don't feel good about it at
Bryce
all.
Hopkins.
Please, not 2 years in a row.
Oh, I know. I just feel like it just has that, the St. Peter's thing, the worst season in the in the history of the school. Lots of pressure on this game with Bryce Hopkins being on the team last year, not on the team this year. It's been terrific at Providence. And
Well, we got
Providence
him started, guys. We've got him
Providence has actually
started.
been very bad.
He's been quiet, John.
Providence is actually really bad leading into the tournament. They're 7-8 in their last 15 games. I just feel like Kentucky didn't play well against Vandy. I don't know. I don't feel good.
Come on, Michael.
Call me Mike after, and we'll talk about PM.
Hey, Mark Lilly says, listen to the guy who's been drawn twice for an elk tag. Mark Lilly says we're going to win the first one. Josh says cats. W-O. Come on, man. W-O's with you, he said. And I
hope I am dead wrong, and I hope I got to eat crow. But I for whatever reason, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys know me.
Guys, he gets so tore up. I mean, we were bear hunting 2 years ago, or I don't know, maybe it was a year ago when we lost to Notre Dame. This guy's changed his clothes, got his shirt off, putting on deodorant so aggressively because he's mad that we lost. I've never seen someone put on deodorant aggressively like that. He was furious.
Watching games gives me anxiety. It really does. And I
love group text.
I love Kentucky. Love Kentucky basketball. And it just, man, I'm on edge every time we play.
Patrick Curley, I'm sorry I brought you guys into this. I just had to bring it up. I told him I was going to. He told me he wasn't going to talk about it, but you see how easy it is just to get him riled up.
It's easy.
I love it. Is
there any hunts outside of Kentucky, Patrick, that you come up with? I know early on you was hoping to maybe get some other hunts.
We were looking at some, and just we were kind of on the time frame, still on the time frame to get this thing done and kicked off the ground the first year. Maybe going forward, but lining up some of the logistics of that, and we were a little behind. A lot of your bigger, I guess, more in demand hunts in the western part of the states and maybe up in Alaska and Canada. Some of that stuff, the good ones sell out a year or two in advance. So I didn't want to just go out and buy a crappy hunt just to say we had a hunt. The stuff we want to give away, the prizes, we want it to be quality. That's quite simple. We just want it to be something that's worth winning, that anybody would be happy with. And I just didn't want to go out and half-ass it the first time. So maybe next year. Yeah.
The deadline, I will say the deadline to enter for the Elk Lotto is April 30th.
Yep.
And then shortly 2 weeks after, I guess, on May 13th is when this event will take place. But definitely get in, to get in for the lottery, the deadline is April 30th. A lot of people get this conception of people getting drawn 2 or 3 times, guys.
In a row.
I've been involved in this. I've never had the suspicion that the draw is rigged. And the guys that they used to before they had the sit-out period, the 3-year sit-out, there was some guys that got drawn 3 or 4 times. And then they finally put that 3-year sit-out in.
Yeah.
Nobody has gotten drawn more than once. Like I will definitely not get drawn. You would definitely not see my name come across that this year. I got a 3-year sit-out. The guys that you do see that, with these commissioner tags and landowner tags, which is what Patrick has in the raffles, some of those guys that get their hands on that and they have the financials to do it, some of those guys buy those tags every year.
Yeah.
They hunt I have one client that's probably killed. He's bought 4 or 5 tags. He comes and hunts every year, but that's all that goes back to our state and conservation, whether it be for kids for Camp Earl Wallace or buying, stuff to do burns or doing it for WMAs. All this money goes back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and it's just a good money raiser program.
Hey, let me ask you this, Hurley, and we won't keep you guys much longer. You have clients that come every year. You have clients that have come to hunt and they've ended up buying land here. You've had guys that spend a lot of money in Kentucky.
They get totally invested, man. It's been, again, that's the reason I want or like to see us not lose, our locals to have the interest and the value and put, what the value is on this. Yeah, it's hard to get drawn. Trust me. I've 21 years. I've got it. I've been blessed to be part of a lot of hunts, but 21 years to get a tag for Kentucky, and you add the 3-year set out. So, you're talking 24, 25 years. So it is a tag of a lifetime. I may not never get drawn again. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Just having the opportunity, growing up in Eastern Kentucky in the mountains of the coal mines and the coal fields, it's really a blessing to be able to hunt these in our home state, or at least have an opportunity to even put in. So, everybody somewhere along the line, somebody's going to call foul. Foul play. You're just dealing with humans. But again, I feel very confident in the system.
You can call foul and you can talk about all the conspiracies, but 25 years ago, there was no conspiracies. There was nothing to call foul on. So what we've done in 25 years is pretty remarkable. The state Fish and Wildlife has done a great job.
You know what? One thing that is, and someone mentioned this, and I meant to bring it up earlier. This is really, we had 3 years ago, things were being shut down for COVID. That's what somebody was talking about. Like their elk hunt they had 3 years ago was not as fun because there were so many restrictions. They couldn't do camp. They couldn't, these guys couldn't travel because maybe they test positive for this. And Patrick, you talked about how you guys kept, you didn't shut down. Mike bought a gun from you during COVID. And I think we've lost some since then, and we're just now getting back. And this is just a great way of, kind of putting an exclamation mark on some of the things we've been through, having out thousands of people, rebuilding the hunting community that I feel like we've lost over the last, not just COVID years, but several years. And I think it's good to look back to like, man, a few years ago it sucked, but now we're growing back and we're going to be bigger and better than ever for this Elk Draw.
Hey, we're excited. We're excited to host it.
Yeah.
You take for the the Elk Draw is they talk about the quality or the quantity. Yeah, our elk herd, we're facing some number issues. That's obvious, and it's not just one thing. It's not everybody. A lot of times we get this that Fish and Wildlife's taking them to all the other states and they're hauling them out. Yeah, we did. That's how we got them. We took some, but it's not the numbers.
Right.
I think it might be like 600 to 800. I don't have the exact, but they didn't send out thousands of them enough to make the difference. It's a combination of many things. But if you look back, in 2021 or 2020 up until 2022, I was blessed to guide the state record archery kill. We've got the state record archer kill that was killed in 2020 by Mr. Flint, Rick.
Yep. We had Rick on the show.
Yeah, you had him on your show. Yeah, oh yeah. He killed the state record. And then we followed up with, the state record for the kids, the muzzleloaders, and then the Todd Air Bull that was killed, the typical bull.
It's been a good 3-year stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we still got some quality animals, and you still got that chance to kill a world-class, what I would consider a world-class animal. But, they're not behind every rock or every corner. Don't get me
Now,
wrong, but
Hurley, I know you're not one to, you are humble, and you've been very successful. What is your? I mean, your success rate's very close to 100.
so on harvesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, up until just a couple years ago was the first time that I experienced a hunter not actually harvesting. But we have I think last year we had 5 or 6 that did not harvest. It's disappointing, but
yeah.
but
But if you go to
for that
Colorado,
time-
it's like a 10% success rate.
right? Yeah, so
You know.
it's and the other thing, we're always facing hurdles. I don't care what you're doing,
Yeah.
you're doing, or in the hunting and fishing. You've got weather to contend with, you've got the rut to contend with,
Yeah.
and we won't get on the topic, but we've got what I think's an issue going into this season.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that. We're
That's
gonna
gonna
get on
be-
that topic here in a couple weeks. I've
You
already
know what I'm
talked.
talking about.
I've got some data to pull, and we're gonna talk about it. But Hurley, we'll be here to midnight.
Yeah, the season dates. I could talk about elk. I could talk to elk to daylight, man.
I know. That's why I had to.
But I'm
tell you.
not getting off subject, Patrick. Really, hats off to what you've done up to this point.
Absolutely,
John, you just need to put all your little computer stuff. I'm not getting with that stuff. I'm getting it where it needs to go. But the links, I'll try to do my part, but I'm not computer savvy. I don't claim to be. I
You
just
just
want
stick
to
to
go
the Bulls, brother. We'll take care
I
of
just
it.
want to go hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, listen, Patrick, Hurley, Mike, we appreciate you guys being on here. I think this is a huge event, man. I can't wait for it. I'm very excited. I'm excited for turkey season, and now, usually you have that lull between turkey season going into summer. Now we got a big event that I'm excited about right after that.
That's all we're worried about.
Nice.
Not turkey, just elk, man. Just do elk.
And so, anyway, we appreciate it. Hurley got me distracted there, guys. I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, do your closing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. There's no clothes. I will say my brother said I got to order one of those LMO hats, which Hurley is secret for. Hey, Hurley, will you give me a hat is what he's really saying.
I got him covered.
I'm not giving him mine. So, but anyway, Patrick, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate the effort you're putting into this for the people of Kentucky and Kentucky Gun Company hosting this. And, hopefully I know that you're giving the money back, but, I hope you guys reap the rewards from it as well, because you're doing a great thing and for the people of Kentucky and the Elk Draw. So we appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate the help. Appreciate you having us on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Buying tickets is great, for the viewers out there, but just help us spread the word, man. I need all the help I can get. I'll take any and everything. Your help would be greatly appreciated. So post it, talk about it, share it in your chat rooms, chat groups. We'll take it all.
There you go. So, all right, fellas, have a great night. If you are watching, we'll be back on Thursday, Bass Fishing Live Thursday night. Next Tuesday night, join us again. And then next Thursday, Bassmaster Classic. I am so excited for that too. So anyway, everybody have a good night. Thanks for being here. Patrick, Mike, Hurley, appreciate you guys. And we'll see you next time. Bye.